Hi, 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 hi. Good evening to all of you. I'm your host. My name is Bobby Thakur, and I wish you a very happy Teachers' Day. I know that you understand the value of a teacher in your life because whoever you are right now is just because of the great teachers you had in your life. So, lots of gratitude for the teachers, and I also want you people that you can call any of your teacher and you can wish them the teachers day. And if you're a teacher, then definitely you will feel that blessings in your life that you have trained or you have taught so many people till now. So thank you so much for joining this talk show. So today on this Teachers Day, we have a special guest with us, Dr. Neerja Pandey. She's a rehabilitation psychologist, and she's working in this field from quite long time, more than 10 years. And she's amazing faculty working with Amity University, Lucknow campus. So I welcome Dr. Neerja Pandey on this talk show on behalf of Counsel India.
Hi, good evening.
Very good evening. How are you, man? Happy Teachers
Doing
Day.
fine. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So, before talking about the topic, before having the discussion about the topic, modern trends of psychology, I would like to ask you, what is rehabilitation psychologist? Because there are a lot of people who are not aware with this rehabilitation psychologist, though they know
That's,
that what is psychologist, but rehabilitation psychologist.
thank you so much for asking me this question. All right. Let me put it in very simple words.
Mhm.
Uh, there was a person who has a very active life, runs around, does good job, has a healthy friends life, healthy personal life, healthy career and whatnot. And suddenly something happens, maybe an accident, maybe some health issue. And now this person requires a lot of help. First is the medical aid, and then his lifestyle completely changes. Now, once the medical steps have been taken care of, and now this person has to bounce back to life. Now, this process of bouncing back to life and go back to functioning as normal as possible after that incident is the process of rehabilitation. If I put it even in more clearer terms,
Mhm.
say there is a person who has a very active life, personal and professional, and he's very progressive, he's very upcoming, he's very ambitious, and he gets a brain stroke.
Okay.
So now, initially, he's admitted in the hospital. The doctors are looking after the person. Then he's out of the ICU. Now he is under the medication, under observation. Then he's out of the hospital. But his complete lifestyle has changed. Now he needs a physiotherapist. Now he needs psychological support. He needs somebody to take care of his bodily needs because he has to go very slow. And now that process, the medicine is continuing. The doctors have taken care of it. Now he has to go back to life. And now this process of going back to life using all the facilities, all the resources available, and all the professionals available. This process is called rehabilitation. And all of us in one time or the other need rehabilitation in our life.
Right. Just
That
really
is the
nice.
umbrella term for rehabilitation. This
Yeah.
is the
And
rehabilitation.
and I've seen that recently you have published a book on handbook on developmental disabilities and
Disabilities.
rehabilitation.
Correct. That's my very first book, and it got published in the month of August itself. And this is about, again, the whole concept of what is disability. See,
Mhm.
I have been teaching this paper for some time now. And to understand disability and why it happens and how it can be prevented, that is one part of the book.
Mhm.
Next part is to understand how to educate children using IEP, individualized education plan, in the special school setup and in inclusive education setup also.
Mhm.
That part is the second part of it. And the last part is the behavior modification. That is how to deal with behavioral problems of young children, the techniques used, the method used. That is one part, third part. And then I have used in this book few samples, case samples, how to go about stepwise while dealing with children and their behavioral problems. This is
Okay.
the book all about.
It takes a lot of things, a lot of patience to write a book.
Yeah,
And
dedication is required.
dedication is required.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your great efforts. Definitely, there are a lot of people who are going to take benefit from your book.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I want to ask you, because there are a lot of people, our audience is mixed. Like the people who are from psychology background, they are also watching this talk show.
Yeah.
The people who do not have any psychology background, they're also watching this talk show. Uh, People have heard about clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists, heard about the sports psychologist, heard about the organization psychologist, right? I want to ask you how to become a rehab psychologist. What is the process?
Okay. First, let us understand rehabilitation is a specialization that comes at MPhil level, right?
Okay.
Before that, you need to become a psychologist.
Okay.
So, let's say in many schools, there are certain schools who do offer psychology as a subject in class 11 and 12.
Right.
And there are other schools where the psychology is not a subject. Doesn't matter. As long as you have got a good percentage, means above 50 or above 60%, and you give the entrance exam, like in my university, you have to, and you get admission in psychology, right?
Okay.
So you have, once you have done the undergraduation BA, you have the basic ground for to become a psychologist. After your graduation, now you go into masters. And masters can be all that we have just said. It can be clinical psychology, it can be counseling psychology, it can be developmental psychology, it can be criminal psychology, sports psychology. There are n number of branches. Now, when you want to talk about specialization, then there are certain national institutes, organizations, academic institutes, which give RCI approved course in rehabilitation and RCI course in MPhil, not masters. After masters in MPhil, clinical psychology. These are the organizations which have the approval from Rehabilitation Council of India, that is RCI. They have the syllabus, the curriculum as per the guidelines provided by RCI. And they have the trained faculty who can teach their courses in rehabilitation as well as in clinical psychology. Then MPhil is of 2 years. Then we have 1 year courses in both. And once you have done this, then you get registered with RCI. And once you are registered with RCI, you can actually practice in the field of mental health, because now you have the registration. And if you have done MPhil, you can be a practitioner as well as you can teach in higher education. But if you have done 1 year course, either in rehabilitation or in clinical psychology, then you can practice, but you cannot teach in higher education. That is the difference.
Okay.
Hope I have not gone very fast.
Okay, that's really great. You have told us the stepwise how we can become a rehabilitation psychologist. Okay, so before talking about the modern trends, I would like to ask you the question related to the demand and the supply in India on psychology or the psychologist, because nowadays, after this pandemic, there are lots of people who has gone through or who are going through right now with various mental health problems, right? But there are very limited psychologists out there for them.
Yes. See, demand was earlier also, there was a lot of demand and supply was very less. But there were a lot of myths about psychologists. People had their own issues, their own misconceptions and biases and whatnot. But within last 2 years, the realization has come that now no more, we can't go with the stigma anymore. And you do actually need support and help at a lot of times. You cannot say, "Arey, ye log humko kya jeena sikhayenge." Now, this statement cannot help you. And for just not because you are mentally not well, no. Psychologist does not mean that you are not okay mentally in the upper department, that you have learned certain illnesses, big terms I don't want to use. It is not that you have those issues, only then you go to the psychologist. When you really have mental problems, you really have illnesses, then the psychiatrist is there to give you medicines, and medicines are required. But when it comes to your everyday life, when it comes to management, when it comes to stress, when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to relationship issues, emotional mood swings, then you actually need to go to the psychologist, because they are the ones who are going to teach you life skills. They are the ones who teach you life skills. After that, they use therapies. There are so many therapeutic modalities, and they help you, be very happy in your life and move forward in your life. So this realization came in a big way. It was like right in front of your face during this pandemic, because people who had been running away from home, people who had, away from people and relations, they all were put together under the same roof, and now they had to live and sustain. No more running away. No more running away from your thoughts. No more running away from your feelings. No more running away from your relations. Now you have to face them and you have to deal with them.
Right.
Now, then you have to deal with them. You need to go to the trained person. And who is the trained person? The psychologist is the trained person. So this realization has come in a big way, and hence the demand has increased.
Okay. So are you saying that people should not run away from their thoughts, their emotions, instead
Never.
of that? So, I mean, nobody has taught us like how to deal with our own thoughts or how to deal with our own emotions.
I love this question.
Does it really, do we really need to learn this thing from the people or the psychologists or the life coaches?
Let me put it this way. How do we decide what is normal and what is not normal? And the mind is such that we always think, right? So whenever there is a mind, there is thinking going on constantly, 24/7. We have certain thoughts, we have belief systems and whatnot.
Right.
As long as our belief systems, as long as our thoughts help us live the life the way we want it, continue. There is no problem. You don't need help. As long as the thoughts are not creating emotional turmoil in you, and as long as you are able to accept, acknowledge, and deal and express with your emotions, you are perfectly fine. No problem. When do you need help? When you are constantly in that emotional state and not able to come out of it. When you are constantly embroiled in the vicious cycle of thoughts going round and round, and now you are not able to come out of it, then you need to seek help, because when these thoughts and emotions are not letting you live your life as normally as possible or the way you want it, or when they are influencing and affecting your personal life, your career, your relationships, you need help. As simple as that. Okay.
But now here the question is, what mistakes we people are doing, whenever we are going to our houses. For example, in this pandemic, we were there, previously we were there in the office, but now everybody is working from home. Everybody is with their loved ones at home. Previously, they were, out for quite a long time. So what is the one thing or couple of things that were missing that we did not realize in our day-to-day life, but when we came together, when the things got changed around us, so we start feeling, sick. We start feeling difference in our thoughts. We start feeling sick of our own thoughts. So what are the normal things that are missing? Because we are not able to identify those things.
Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, when pre-pandemic, we never spent much time at home. Okay, look at it this way, in our own lives also. A child spends time with parents till the age of 9 or 10 years. After that, school schedule and school friends, they take priority, right? So all the influence is on you is of the school, the school curriculum, the school culture, and the school friends, and then the teachers. Then you have your tuitions, you are running on how much time were you spending at home? Very minimal. Getting up early in the morning, rushing to school, then coming home, then tuition, then sleeping, watching some TV serials or chatting with friends, then homework, then preparation, then project, then whatnot. And this was how the life was. You grow up after class 12 or even after graduation. Now you leave home, you go to hostel, you go to or you go to colleges. You have a busy schedule. Now you get into a job. Again, very less time. So small things you could ignore. You could run and very beautiful. Now this small little beautiful virus comes along. Beta ghar chalo. Ab beta ghar chalo mein kya? There is problem of space. Not I'm talking of physical space. There is interference from everybody. Now you are face to face with your thoughts, with your people, with your relations, with your emotions, and it is bursting out like anything. Earlier, you were coming home not in good mood. Fine people were there. College se aaya hai, office se aaya, thaka manda hai, ignore maro. Now that ignore maro is not happening.
Will not work.
Isn't working out. Yeah. Not at all. And then you have to become part of the household work. You have to take responsibility which you were not taking earlier. And now the behavioral issues, the emotional issues, the conversations, everything is coming and you have to deal with it. In fact, the pandemic has done two beautiful things. Either the people have come very close to one another or they actually have drifted apart. Both ways, it depends what you had been avoiding earlier. And if I can give you one more example, I used to see students even today, even for climbing the stairs till the third floor, you have to have earphones and you have to listen to the songs. For a very short drive in the car, for say 10 minutes drive, you have to have the music.
Right.
Now, when that music is not happening, when that earphone is not there, what is happening? Now you come face to face with what is going inside you. Now you are not able to avoid those vicious cycle of the thoughts. And though that cycle is creating trouble.
Okay.
Big time trouble. And what to be done with that? First is you have your thoughts. Your thoughts create emotions.
Right.
And your emotions create influence your behavior.
Right.
So either you focus on your thoughts, acknowledge it. Oh, I'm feeling very angry. Oh, I'm insecure. I'm feeling helpless. I'm feeling jealous. No, I'm feeling very lusty. First is, let's just acknowledge that, yes, I have this feeling. Once you acknowledge your feeling, then you will know what to do with that feeling. From where is this coming? So you acknowledge, now you understand the cause, from where it is coming, and now you deal with it.
Right.
This is the help which the psychologist gives.
Okay. So I got this point that what was missing? The time with yourself was missing. Time to observe your thoughts, time to see how you feel, time to acknowledge what kind of emotions you are having.
Yes.
It was missing. We were not telling ourselves that we are feeling this way.
We were negating it. We were negating it.
Even we are not telling anybody in this world. Okay, that's why there is a need of the psychologist nowadays.
Yes, yes.
But there is one problem in this.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right that it's a common illness. Common illness means it's normal like physical illnesses, right? But still there is stigma. Still, we are not very open to tell people that we want to approach a psychologist or we want help related to our emotions.
Yeah. You know what? This is the gray area where we actually need to work on. And we are, as a faculty, as a teacher, I am doing my bit wherein I'm telling my students, I'm telling them to tell their parents, their family members, their siblings, in their friend circle, that it is okay to talk. And especially after the suicide of few people, high profile people, there was a trend going on. Talk to me, I'm available, open up. So in that, one student had called me, and she was not from psychology background. Ki ma'am, hum ye kar rahe hain, sir, very good beta. Beautiful initiative, but tell me one thing. Because why I'm giving this incident is, thank you for asking this question. Just talking is not counseling.
Hmm.
Just venting out is not counseling. You are
Right.
venting out in front of your friends, but still you have the same problem, right?
Right.
Talking is the first part, but after that, the counseling begins after that.
Mhm.
So this student, when she asked me, I said, "Beta, very good. You call up some friend or anybody. Now that person opens up, starts trusting you, and then reveals a secret. Say, for example, uh, trauma, very deep rooted trauma, very deep rooted abuse the person has gone through. How are you going to deal with it? Are you trained for it to handle? To no, we all need to grieve. Yeah? There are stages of grief. You need to go across and cross all those and come to the acceptance level. Only then
Right.
you will move forward.
Right.
How are you going to help that person deal with the trauma? Are you equipped with it? No, that girl was stunned. She said, "No,
Hmm.
ma'am." I said, "Now what will you do? I trust you. I reveal a secret. I tell you my story. Now you do not know what to do. You go and talk to somebody else. Now you come and tell me, beta, you go and talk to this person. The
Right.
trust is again broken. I
Right.
told you, you told somebody else.
Confidentiality is no more there.
Forget about confidentiality. The basic trust, which was already missing,
Hmm.
with so much difficulty, the person trusted you, and now the person is going to feel that you have broken the trust. Now, this person is not going to talk again in front of anyone. So, more than the good, you are doing the bad. Just talking is not the answer. Please be aware. Talking is not counseling. People say they are baat hi to
Right.
karte hain. No, no, no. It is not just
Hmm.
we are helping people deal with their traumas. We are helping people to, come out of their emotional shock and whatnot. There are so
Right.
many techniques involved.
Yeah. And because we are talking about this right now, and thank you so much for telling this story. There are a lot of people who are saying this, talk to us, we are available.
So,
And it can also, many times, it can also increase the problem.
yes, because when I already have a trauma and I'm constantly talking about it, so what am I doing? I'm reliving the trauma.
Right.
So the more I relive, it is something like you have an injury and you are not letting the injury heal. You are scraping it all the time, scratching over it all the time. So
Hmm.
how is it going to heal? Same is with the emotional trauma. You are
Right.
not allowing it to settle down. You are not
Hmm.
allowing it to heal. And so
Right.
doesn't help out. Otherwise, we as we Indians are very good counselors. Otherwise, oh, it's okay to talk, it's okay to cry, it's okay to shout. But what after that? Where is the cause?
Right.
From where the problem is coming? You need to deal with that. Right?
Talking is not enough.
No, talking
Speaking
is a
out is
starting
not
point.
enough.
Talking is a
Yeah.
first step. That is all.
And you need to be very, very careful with whom you are talking.
Yes, a person should be trained. That is why the
Trained.
psychology training is required. Because we are learning, first in BA, we are learning about the basic human personality,
Hmm.
memory, emotions, and whatnot. In masters, we are dealing with little, higher stuff, the differences between people. Then we are exposing our children to different therapeutic modalities, what to be done, what not to be done. Counseling is part of psychology training. And then after that, students are specializing themselves. हमको ये therapy सीखनी है, हमको वो technique सीखना है, and then they are using it.
Hmm.
And that is where the training is required.
Right. Let me tell you one thing,
Yeah,
because we run some mental health awareness campaign from Counsel India.
yeah.
So one of our member shared one incident with me because they were doing the survey awareness thing with the police people who are out
Okay.
there in the field. So one of the policemen said, "We do not need psychology because we are reading psychology of people every day. We know how it
Yes,
works." Right? So
yes.
people are taking for granted,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
They do not know about psychology.
They don't. And best problem is, see, even if you have studied psychology in graduation, you
Hmm.
feel, oh, I know psychology. What is psychology?
Yeah.
Just you have studied certain theories in psychology in graduation. Theories is not psychology. Theory is simply theory. It is a subject. That doesn't make you a psychologist. Yeah. So that's why the training is required. No?
Right, right. Now, I'm curious to know, or I want to tell the people, if that policeman is watching this talk show, he must know, like, how psychologists are different from the people who can understand, like policemen, that we read the psychology of the people, we deal with the psychology of the people. How psychologists are different?
Okay, let me put it this way. Wherever, first, what is psychology, right? Psychology is actually the study of behavior. And here we are talking about human behavior.
Right.
Systematic study of human behavior.
Right.
And wherever there is a human mind, we are dealing with psychology. But if I go back to that example of your the policeman, or for any policeman, what he is doing, they are looking at that part of personality that this person has done this wrong, has to be caught, has to be punished, has to be booked. Basically, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम बस गलतियां पकड़ रहे हैं, mistakes. But the psychologist is looking at the person, the individual, the human behind the behavior. See, our behavior is basically a kind of a defense system. We are not showing what we are through our behavior in different roles we are playing. We are playing different roles, right? But those roles do not define us. Right. Like right now, sitting here and talking to you, you cannot judge my personality because of this interaction. Because I'm playing a role here, so are you. Same way I play a role when I'm dealing with my husband. I'm a wife there. I'm a mother with my children. I'm a daughter with my mother. I'm a sister with my brothers. I'm a friend with my friends. I'm a colleague with my colleagues, right? So we have playing roles, and that doesn't define our personality. What is personality? When you watch me, when you observe me, when you listen to me across situations, I am behind my behavior. So the people, when we talk of psychology and reading people, what are we doing? We are observing. First is observe, listen. Talking nahi hota hai, listening hota hai. Right. And not just listening, it is active listening. Active listening means I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm listening at what you are talking and how you are talking, what you are telling me, and more importantly, what you are not telling me. Right. I'm watching your body language. I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at your expressions. I'm trying to look at the human being behind the role, behind the behavior. This is the difference. This is the training of the psychologist. Okay. Right. Yeah. Have I answered your question?
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about if we will see our past few years, past 10 years or 5 years. Yes, people got aware about psychology. There are a lot of students out there who are taking up psychology as a career. There are a lot of new institutions or the colleges has this psychology as a course in their institution.
Yeah.
Right. So now awareness is being increased and people are getting enrolled into this psychology program. Right. Okay. So how do you see psychology future in India? How do you really think that if we are becoming psychologists, a lot of people are becoming psychologists nowadays, till how long we will be able to meet the demand which is there out in India?
Okay. It is going to take many years because simple reason, if you see generally what is the mindset in India, that you take up a stream, you pick up a branch of science or a career which is very lucrative. You need to get money. You have to earn good money. When you have good earning, you have a market value and blah, blah. And in psychology, they are not looking there as a lucrative career. One. Secondly, the mindset is, psychology, generally girls. You see everywhere. Majority of the students are girls. Kyun? Manage kar lengi. लड़कों के लिए नहीं है यहाँ पे. क्यों? So, अब engineers and doctors ही बनना है तो psychologists क्यों बनना है? Not that ki, and you see the scenario even with engineers and doctors. I'm not going to do that, but this is one mindset we have to deal with. Second mindset is that we ourselves have to tell our students, our people, that there is a big market out there through psychology. The only thing is we have not realized the potential of it. The only thing is we're not looking in this direction. That is another problem. And third is somehow, what is easier done? Wherein you have a test, you do the testing, you do the diagnosis, you get the money and everything is fine. But when it comes to take responsibility, ownership, even the people who are the so-called clients, they find it very easy to pop up a pill in the mouth and deal with it. Sir dard ho raha hai, dawai kha lo. Fever ho raha hai, dawai kha lo. But why the fever is happening, why the headache is happening, they don't want to change the lifestyle. So the shortcut is creating the trouble now and not taking the ownership of how I'm feeling. You are making me angry. I'm not becoming angry.
Right.
The issue is वो मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, नहीं मुझे नहीं आ रहा है, तुमने मुझे गुस्सा दिलाया. तो इसको change करना है. It is not that somebody is making me angry. It is I am feeling angry and there is something which is not okay within me. I need to deal with it. Why am I angry? Now this is the ownership I'm talking about. Till the time we are not taking the responsibility and the ownership, things will not change. Both ways, as psychologists, as clients also.
For both phases. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that everybody should learn psychology, should know
Yes.
something about human mind?
Yes, definitely.
Everybody.
Everybody. In fact, I make it a point to talk about in one class at least about the mind.
Mhm.
What is mind? How it functions? How from where the source of our thoughts are, the belief systems, and how we need to understand to what is going on the thoughts, the base with the upbringing up that we have, and how to come out of it. Until unless I'm aware of my own patterns of thoughts, patterns of emotions, patterns of behavior, I'm not going to grow in my life. But this awareness is required, not to become therapist, but to grow and develop ourselves, develop our own personality. It is required. So in my classes, I do talk about these things. And it is, I believe that it is required and in big time.
For the self-development, psychology definitely gonna help.
Yes.
Also, it's gonna help people to grow them as a professional, whatever they are becoming.
Yes, yes.
Either if they are the doctors, engineers, or whoever they are.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Psychology gonna help them.
Yes. See, understand, there have been very genius people, very intelligent people, very gifted people, very talented people, and very successful people in their careers.
Mhm.
But if you look in their lives, something was missing. Personal life was affected. Why was that affected? Somewhere emotional intelligence was required. No? And
Right.
this again is the reason that we should have this understanding of emotional intelligence.
Right. But there are a lot of people, who think that it's okay if we are not happy all the times. Obviously, people cannot be happy all the times.
No.
So if people are sad, what is the need to go to a psychologist, talk to anybody? It's a part of life. We need to deal with this with our own. Nobody can help us.
See, again, this is again the loop. No. Point here is, I'm sad. There is a reason I'm sad. See, for every emotion is good. I never say that some emotion is bad, some is good. There is nothing called negative or positive emotions. Emotion is emotion. And every emotion has a purpose. All right. So if I'm sad, there is a reason behind it. I lost something. I missed something, whatever. After a certain period of time, I get over the emotion and I move on.
Right.
No big deal. Perfectly normal behavior.
Right.
But if that emotion of sadness continues with me and I'm not able to come out of it, then I need help. But if I'm taking pills, if I'm taking antidepressants, I'm becoming dependent on the medicines, and these medicines are dealing with the symptoms. What was the core issue with me that I was holding on to? I did not grieve the loss, and I'm carrying the loss with me. So how long the medicines are going to help me? And this is where the problem is coming from. I am sad and I will manage it. Yes, you can. And if you are able to manage, if you are able to come out of that unhappiness, and at times you are unhappy, at times you are happy, beautiful. But for prolonged periods and very frequently you are not happy, look back in yourself. No, what is the problem? See, understand, if there is a problem, there is a cause also.
Right.
And if there is a cause of that problem, there is a solution also. right? So if there is a solution, look for the solution.
Right, right. Perfect. So now I would like to ask you certain factors. For example, one factor you talked about the ownership. People
Ownership,
do not
yes.
take the ownership of their own emotions.
Correct.
If I'm feeling angry, you are the person who make
Yeah.
me angry.
Yeah.
I
Or the
don't have any problem.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
problem is out
Correct.
there.
Yes.
So first of
Exactly.
all, we need to understand that this is our problem. This problem is
Yes.
inside us. Take the
Correct.
ownership.
Yes.
Likewise, there can be one factor which is expectation nowadays,
Correct.
right? So I want you to highlight few factors by which we are going to suffer more, or by which we are moving towards depression or some other things, so that the people who are watching this talk show right now, at least they
Okay.
can
If
focus
I'm,
on themselves.
let me understand the question first.
Yeah.
You are telling the question. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. I'm asking you the certain factors by which people are moving toward the depression. Maybe they are not aware. For example, one is the ownership. Second
Okay.
can be the expectations.
Mhm.
We have more expectations. There are a lot of sufferings between the relationships and
Okay.
other things.
I think I get your question. Let's see if I'm able to answer this question. I'll try. The first thing is all our lives. Let us understand. I'm talking about Indian people.
Yeah, yeah.
We have from the very beginning, from the age 3, when we started nursery classes. So that focus has been on performance. I am loved, I am good. Oh, you are a good boy. You're a very good girl if you are getting marks. If you are not getting good marks, you are a bad boy. So what we have learned, if you perform, you are good. And by default, if the performance goes down, even if nobody is telling me you are bad, but I feel bad, the whole thing is about failure and success. Right? So
Right.
everything, like I want to achieve this. I want to get this job. I'm going for interview and I'm not getting it. So this is not an experience. This is a failure for me. So one failure, two failure, three failures. Be it my own expectation, be it something I wanted to achieve, I'm not getting it. So I am feeling that I am a failure. So when I am a failure, now the downward hill, we are going down. But had somebody taught us like that every situation, every event is teaching us something. I go for an interview, and if I had been told beforehand कि बेटा ऐसा है तुम जितने भी interviews दे सकते हो दे दो, and understand how to see interviews about you are preparing yourself, you are dealing with your anxiety, you are going and facing the questions, you are facing this event called being judged. How it makes you when you are feeling that you are judged, and how to answer certain tricky questions. All of this is an experience, and nobody is telling me कि बेटा इस experience को भी जी के देखो. Now you know next preparation कैसी होनी चाहिए. Next interview के लिए मुझे खुद पर कितना काम करना है, मेरी अपनी anxiety levels को कैसे handle करना है.
Right.
This, we are not looking at life as experience. We are not living life.
Right.
We are black and white. Either I'm a failure or I'm a successful person. And failures itne zyada create kar liye gaye hain from the very beginning. I'm not blaming anything. The whole system has was like this. I have also grown up on that only, and it was very tough, very difficult. It took me a lot of patience, lot of work and training on myself to come out of that situation. You know, it is not failure; it is an experience. So the day we start looking at life as an experience, and the day we start living life, I think these problems will not happen. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. See, you're saying that look life as experience.
Yes.
Not just the
failure or
success and
success.
failure.
Correct.
Yeah. It is absolutely, it is happening nowadays. It is happening every day.
Every day.
Even we are, as parents are also teaching their child. Everybody, in friends, parents, colleagues, boss, corporate sector. Why? Because there is no education related to psychology in our childhood, from our childhood.
Well, I will not say psychology, because psychology, I say, let us not blame psychology here. Psychology is a science, right? Psychology is science of human behavior. And when you talk about science as psychology as a stream, so you are learning a subject, you are learning the theories, you are learning all the aspects of that.
Okay.
No. What makes the difference is when you start applying those principles in your life.
Right.
Otherwise, देखो पढ़ा लिखा हर कोई है, डिग्री होल्डर हर कोई है, 9 pointers, lot many people are there. The difference is how many people are actually living those principles. Same is true in psychology also. If I'm talking about taking the ownership, I'm giving a lecture here, am I taking the ownership of my own behavior? If I'm saying, oh, live the life, am I living the life? Do I know how to live the life?
Right.
Understand? So giving lecture and talking up to people and telling them something is one thing. Having information is one thing. Google is full of that. But how much do I understand? How much do I practice? That is going to make the difference. Same is for the therapeutic modalities. Same is true for psychology and the subjects there and the different branches there.
You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking about all those teachers who taught me, and now I'm analyzing that which one the teacher who was really sharing their experiences with me, and which are the teacher who was just throwing out the information on me.
Okay, let us look at this way. When you look back onto your school life and college life, we remember those people who may not be the best teachers, who may not maybe having the best degrees, but the people who actually touched our lives, who spent time with us, right? Who spoke with us, who listened to us.
Right.
And we remember those people.
Right.
Just close your eyes and look back. Who do you remember?
It is. Yeah. So because today is Teachers' Day, so one advice from your side for the teachers.
इतना मुश्किल सवाल नहीं, सवाल मुश्किल नहीं है. The question is very simple, but answer is okay. Disclaimer पहले दे देती हूँ मैं. If somebody feels offended, please forgive me. Okay, I would suggest that try to be that teacher. Right, let me give an example first. I don't know whether I'll be able to frame it into a statement. When I look back all my years in school and college and university, and the names of my faculty, my teachers, I remember the faces I remember. Why do I remember those faces? Why do I remember those teachers? And if you look back, there were teachers, must have been one or two teacher, कि अगर वो छुट्टी करते थे, teacher is absent, we used to feel very happy. अच्छा, teacher absent हो गया.
Right.
And there was another teacher, अगर वो छुट्टी पर था, उन्होंने छुट्टी कैसे ले ली? Is everything okay? So the suggestion that I would give is become the teacher the way you remember the best teacher of your life. And that will be the best guidance you can have in this profession.
This can be the big insight for the teachers.
For everyone, not just teachers, for everyone.
In life, generally, whenever we have the interaction with people.
Yes. Whom we remember with fondness. When the moment I think of somebody and the smile comes on my face, that is the ideal, that is the person I should behave like, I should become like. That should be my target.
Right. That's really nice. Okay. Because we're talking about the modern trends. Though I'll be asking your three things that you practice to make yourself mentally healthy. I would ask this to you, but
just
before
one
that,
thing. Just one thing is required.
What?
Meditation is a very big word. I'm not going to use the word meditation. Because meditation, I believe, is an experience that you achieve, right? But if you can practice to every day for 10 to 15 minutes, just be with yourself, nobody around, no music, nothing. Just focus on your breath. Just breath. And thoughts will come, let the thoughts come. Don't stick with the thoughts, let the thoughts go. And you continue on your breath. And if it is becoming difficult, just use any word to use along with your breath as an anchor. That word is used, you are going to use this as an anchor. And if you can practice this for minimum 10 to 15 minutes per day, then see the difference. And slowly and gradually you increase this timing, 10 from then 15, then 20, then 25. And the effect you will know yourself. Means दिमाग को थोड़ा शांत करो, breath पर focus करो. Breath is the nutrition your new brain needs.
And these sentences are coming from the experience of yours. You do practice it daily, right?
I do every day.
Perfect. So one last question. Though we have talked about the problems that are being generated nowadays, the things, we have also discussed about from the point of a psychology student.
Correct.
And we have discussed some of the solutions. One great thing, take the ownership.
Yeah.
And second great thing is like live the experience with the experience, not just the success and failures.
Correct.
That was really, really amazing for today. Yeah. So modern trend, because this was a topic, though we have discussed a lot of things, not just the modern trends. So what are the modern trends in psychology according to you? I know this is very open question. Now you'll be thinking what kind of trend I should talk about. Trend in choosing career, trend in doing counseling.
One trend I know.
Yeah.
One trend I have understood is that because of the new education policy, the whole there has been a major shift to go for. I'm talking about field of psychology. I'm talking about psychology students.
Okay.
So till masters, they have to do their masters in psychology. But now the rush is towards getting RCI certification. This is the latest trend in India.
Right.
Right. Then the next trend is that you have to become a counselor because this is the in thing now. Now the problem is, okay, you want to become a counselor, but what kind of training is required? What kind of learning you need to have? The confusion is there now.
Right.
So these two trends I have very clearly understood. Others is, and again, of course, majority of these students are girls only in psychology. And RCI is there, new education policy is there. I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to put a question mark there. But for those people who want to become counselors, I would say talking is not counseling. You need to pick up one or the other therapeutic modality. Learn the therapy, because at the end of the day, diagnosis is not the answer. If I come to you seeking help with my child, I know my child has a problem. If I'm coming to you, I know I have a problem. Don't give me a label, don't give me a name, give me a solution. So if you can give a solution to the people, you have done your job. So that training is required.
Okay. Not just go for the RCI certification, but
no, RCI is required. RCI is required. That is required. Registration is required. I'm not saying not required. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you actually are in service. You are a service provider. Give the services.
Right.
That is important. You get the certification, you get registered. After that, what? That training is required.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Neerja Pandey, it was really, really a great introduction with you. Thank you so much for being here on Counsel India's platform. Definitely, Counsel India, it's a network of psychologists. We have all registered psychologists who are there, who are providing internship programs, who are doing, various counseling sessions for the people. So our intention is to help people. Our intention is to help people to have the quality of life. There are a lot of things people are missing. So, well, due to this talk show, definitely you have added value to the Counsel India's vision. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.